Your Excellency, distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen, our final match for the 2013 Brisbane International, so proudly presented by Suncorp in association with Tourism and Events Queensland. It is the men's singles final between defending champ Andy Murray and Bulgaria's Grigor Dimitrov. But first, I ask you to please be upstanding for the Australian National Anthem, to be performed by one of the stars of South Pacific the Musical, Daniel Cook.
Australians, all let us rejoice, for we are young and free. We've golden soil and wealth for toil. Our home is girt by sea. Our land abounds in nature's gifts. Our beauty rich and rare, in history's page let every stage advance Australia fair. In joyful strains then let us sing, advance Australia fair. In joyful strains then let us sing, advance Australia fair.
Ladies and gentlemen, Daniel Cook from South Pacific the Musical, currently playing at the Queensland Performing Arts Centre, soon heading to Sydney, not to be missed. It's time now to meet our players for the 2013 Brisbane International Men's Final. From Bulgaria, would you please welcome Grigor Dimitrov. And his opponent from Scotland, Andy Murray.
Well, what a final we've got to look forward to this afternoon here in Brisbane. The defending champion, Andy Murray, against the unseeded Grigor Dimitrov. Dimitrov in his first ATP final. Fitzy, a big occasion for the young man who we've spoken a lot about this week, in saying that this could be the breakout tournament, the one that we've been waiting for quite some time. He's been talented, he's been touted as one of the best coming. Hasn't quite reached that, but at 21, 2013 may be the year we see him start to fulfill that expectation.
Well, let's hope so, because he is a terrific young man to watch. They say he's a good kid. We've only spoken to him once or twice, haven't we? But he's been hovering, waiting to break through over the last couple of years. And I think people all over the world on the tour, the ATP tour, have been saying the same thing. He's been ready to break out. He hasn't been able to manage to get to a final yet. But this week is the week. He was very excited after his semi-final victory over Marcus Baghdatis, and he's an all-court player, exciting to watch. If he's not in the top 10 in a couple of years, then I'm not sure many of us know much about this sport. It might even be quicker than that. He's a talent for the future. He's exciting. It'll be interesting to see how
Kelly's
he goes
going to help us with
against
the coin toss, Grigor.
Andy Murray today.
And then we'll have a photo of the three of you this way, and then the two players this way and that way. All set to go? Grigor, heads or tails? All right, heads it is. Oh, it's a tail. Andy? Yes, it counts. He wants to receive.
Receive?
Yeah. Okay, a photo of the three of you.
So as they've got their photos, you can tell they're a similar height, Murray and Dimitrov. The Bulgarian and the Scotsman together, very similar height, and that is the modern size, really, I think, of of the world-class tennis players that we see here in Australia during our summer. They're both around 6'3" in the old language, and they can move, these two. Murray with the stronger frame, his legs are a bit stronger, but Dimitrov will fill out over the next couple of years. He's only 21 years of age. They both cover the court like terrific athletes, and there is Murray's profile. He's 25. He's 4 years ahead of Dimitrov. Got a lot more miles in those legs. Of course, he's ranked number 3. There was a few people around who thought the negative naysayers were saying he wasn't good enough to win a major. Well, they've been proven wrong. I think it's been pretty obvious, really, that when he wins one, he's probably going to win 3 or 4, Murray, and he won the Olympics to go with that US Open last year.
This is how he got there, Fitzy. He had the bye in the opening round, then had a tough match against John Millman. Dropped a set there. He's been in, I would say Murray's been in good form, but not his best. His concentration levels have come up and down just a touch. He then took out Dennis Isterman, and then Kai Nishikori had to retire yesterday. As we take a look at Grigor Dimitrov, 21 years of age, broke into the top 50 for the first time at the end of 2012. He's currently ranked 48. No career titles to his name. Couple of semi-finals at the end of last year, and we take a look at how he made a great match yesterday in coming through 7-6 in the third against Marcus Baghdatis.
Okay, you see Grigor Dimitrov there. Really impressive he was yesterday, and you saw the lineup that he's already beaten, Todd, this week. It include Jürgen Meltzer, it include Milos Raonic, and yesterday, of course, it included not the old stager, but the 27-year-old now with a lot of experience, world-class player in Marcus Baghdatis. So he's proven that he can get through in a quality field with the opposition he's had this week. This is another step, though, to a very, very high level.
He secured victories on this court against Australia's John Millman, Dennis Isterman and Kai Nishikori in yesterday's semi.
So take a look at the head-to-head. Never played. I beg your pardon, they have played. They played the once in Bangkok, 2011. It was 4-4 to Murray. Different player, though, coming into this season, Dimitrov. A lot more experience, understand what it's like to be out on tour, becoming more professional in every way. He worked a couple of years with Peter McNamara, former Aussie great, and got a new coaching relationship, basing himself out of Stockholm in Sweden. Here this week with Mikael Tillström.
And I think that was Mikael's little daughter there in the crowd with Grigor's name on the headband. So a big day for them. Plenty of support around the world these days for the Scotsman.
Well, the beautiful Pat Rafter Arena here at the Brisbane International, and Andy Murray looking to go back-to-back for the first time since Mark Woodford, in my old doubles partner, back in 88-89 when the Australian hard court, as this has also been known, this tournament, the Brisbane International, was played in Adelaide.
For a lot of years.
It's his 38th ATP final. 24 wins out of those 38 finals. 37. This is the 38th. See how he goes today. Surprising, though, that it's only, for me, Fitzy, the first for Dimitrov. I would have thought he'd snuck into maybe a weaker field somewhere around the world. Hasn't had a few semi-finals last year. One of those at Queen's Club, the traditional lead-up to Wimbledon. I think it's just an indication, though, of how difficult it is to break in for younger players now in the modern game. And we talk about the few players that are starting to break through. Tomic has been one of those. These are the same age group, these two. Tomic now just fallen out of 50, but he also hasn't won an ATP title. The best performance from Tomic on tour to date is a semi-final here in Brisbane last year. So there's some very similar parallels between these two, and they're two names in 3 to 4 years that I suspect are going to be in semis and potentially finals of majors.
Time.
Well, it was the first time yesterday I'd seen Dimitrov play a full match, and gee, I was impressed. There's very few. It's difficult to pick a weakness in his game. He slices the backhand a lot more than most of the modern players. It looks like he has based his game on Roger Federer, who was his hero, and why wouldn't he be? Even his service motion has similarities to Roger. He's a taller athlete than Federer, but he's got an all-court game, and I was surprised by the speed of his first serve. That's a real bonus to me, to have a big serve. I didn't believe it was as big as it was when I saw it yesterday. So we know he's got the all-court game.
Ready for play.
But this is really the ultimate test, or one of the ultimate tests he will face over the next few years, playing a player of the calibre of Andy Murray. One of the shots he uses a lot, it seems, is that forehand across court. He creates a lot of angle with that forehand. He doesn't hit the ball flat off that side at all. Really has some dip, and he intentionally goes wide with it to take his opponent off the court.
.30 love.
Well, there's the flare, and that's the talent. Very quick first step into position.
40 love.
This is a pretty handy forehand from Murray, but he opens the court up, and Dimitrov reads it quickly. He takes a quick first step to get into position, and then has the talent there to knock that ball off down the line.
Game Dimitrov.
Nice settler for Dimitrov. Love game, and he leads 1-love. And we've talked about the talent and some of the flair. This is a highlights package, if you like, of Dimitrov against Marcus Baghdatis.
Andy Murray to serve.
Well, that's not going to work. He tried that a fair bit yesterday, particularly early against Baghdatis. Had some success early. And then Baghdatis started to read it, and not an easy shot to hit perfectly on a hard court. You see how high that ball bounced. And Murray, with the combination of the high bounce and his leg speed, what an athlete he is. He was there easily. There's Mikael Tillström. Terrific player in his own right. Quarter-finalist at the Australian Open, Todd.
He was indeed. He in the time when Sweden had so many players in the top 100, and now they don't have a player inside the top 300, I understand.
Well, you certainly can't say that the 21-year-old has been intimidated in the early stages by Murray. He looks very comfortable out here.
15-30.
This was the first serve of Andy Murray and actually caught the line. He didn't challenge.
So an early opportunity here for the youngster. And if Murray has a weakness, it's probably that second serve. You know, I think one of the big things that's changed his game is having Lendl come in and make him hit the forehand harder. Murray, there's Lendl there. He's looking, well, almost resplendent in green. On the left there, just behind Andy Murray. He's the great man. What a player he was. And he's helped Murray dramatically. 2 break points here, though.
Oh, wow.
Dimitrov.
That's a costly miss from Andy Murray. Dimitrov with the break, 2-love.
Dimitrov leads 2-2. Thank you.
A lot of interest in that match. Australia's #1 in Matosevic.
15-love.
Taking on the #2 in Bernard Tomic. Well, it's a rattled start, if you like, for Andy Murray.
That was a very strange way for him to lose his serve, that easy smash, and he is a tiny bit rattled here.
Well, he's been pushed in all areas of the court. He likes to control the speed of the rally through the baseline, and we've talked about how good a volleyer he is. But he doesn't come in that much, so the drop shots have changed it up well for Dimitrov.
40-love.
Well, until yesterday, Dimitrov hadn't lost more than 1 game for his for all of his matches leading into the semi-final. He lost a couple yesterday to Bagdatis, but you know, if he gets ahead in a set, he's good odds to win it.
Well, that wasn't a great shot or slice backhand to finish that rally, but gee, there were a couple
40-15
that Dimitrov hit in that rally, Fitzy, that they were beauties. This is one of the best slice backhands I've seen for a while. The other young guy that's got a great slice backhand is Tomic, so a real change from the younger group, having a bit of variety off that wing.
40-30.
Some real zip into the slice. Very impressive. Yep.
Game,
And he
Dimitrov.
consolidates the break. What a start for Dimitrov. 3-love in the opening set.
Dimitrov leads 3 games to love. Time.
The slow motion forehand of Grigor Dimitrov. We're going to see a lot of this over the next decade. He is a real ball player. Exciting young prospect. He'll make big news, you would think, in Australia this summer. This is already part of that, and he'll be on the headlines tomorrow. Particularly if he can win this match. He's up 3-love against Murray. Oh, class there from the Scotsman. The forehand, I think, is definitely better than it was 18 months ago. He's hitting it with more forward speed. It's a heavier ball. And I think one of the main reasons he's stepped up to this next level.
Love.
Well, Bulgaria is not known as a tennis nation. There's been no male to win an ATP or an open era title. So we go all the way back to '68 when professional tennis began.
Well, there was professional tennis before then, but it was the professional game, wasn't it, in contrast to the amateur game. And in 1968, it all went open. So no Bulgarians there to have won a tournament on the men's side, of course.
Pretty handy ladies, the Maleva sisters,
Yeah.
the trio that
Very
won
famous.
multiple WTA events. Good stuff, great approach off that slice backhand.
You don't see that too often these days, do you? It's nice. It's like a throwback.
Well, it is,
40,
but
15.
if we can watch the replay here, we'll see how difficult a shot it was for Murray. It stays down, low to the court, quickly onto his racket, not enough time to get set to make the pass, so flips up the lob, and it was too short.
Game,
He's on the board at last. Murray, 3-1.
Dimitrov leads 3 games to 1.
Sam Stosur looking for a
15
better
love.
run in Sydney, Fitzy, but a tough opening match against Xi Zhang. We have that live for you on Monday, 5 p.m. Oh,
He's got versatility, hasn't he? You know, I think there's always some debate
30 love.
these days about whether it is a good thing to have a one-handed backhand. I mean, in my mind, possibly the positives outweigh the negatives to have a two-hander these days. But if you can control a one-hander like that and also have that slice up your sleeve, then
40 love.
there's a lot of strength in that side of his body, not unlike Roger Federer. Although if you had, Todd, if you had to say or ask what if Federer had a weakness, maybe it would be high up on that one-hander where there's a bit less strength than a two-hander.
well, there's no doubt about that, but there's only really one person that can get it into that area consistently, and that's Nadal, because he's left-handed. He's able to loop that heavy forehand into
15.
Federer's backhand, and any time after a period of time you have to play that ball above your shoulder off the backhand, it becomes wearing. So we'll see whether Murray can give us a look at how Dimitrov plays that shot. Challenge, I think.
Mr. Dimitrov challenge in the call. Right side, far sideline. Ball is called out. Play a first serve.
So a good challenge.
Yeah, good challenge, and because Andy Murray had a play on that ball and it was called out by the lines person, it has to be a replay. Oh, class from Murray. A little bit of venom of his own in the forehand there.
Great all-court play.
Game Dimitrov.
Dimitrov leads 4-1 in the first.
Dimitrov leads 4-1. Time.
Well, the defending champion, Andy Murray, finds himself in a similar position to what he did in the semi-final yesterday against Kei Nishikori. He trailed 1-4 in that match, but the man that's put that overhead away is in better form than Nishikori, better health too. Nishikori having to withdraw with a knee issue. Down a set and early in the second.
Love.
Well, the great man doesn't look like he's too perturbed, does he? Winner of 8 major singles titles, 3 French Opens, 3 US Opens and 2 Australians. Made the final of Wimbledon twice. So he didn't quite get over the hump of winning Wimbledon, Ivan, but he was in the semis, I think, 5 times, the final twice, and he lost to both Boris Becker and our own Pat Cash in 1987 in those finals. He's a good-looking player, and I say that
30,
with intention because he does look good. I mean, his technique is beautiful. I love the look of his forehand. He's got a classic one-hand backhand with the slice, beautiful service motion, and he can hit an overhead, obviously.
Oh, that's too good. He absorbed the power and the depth so well then, Murray.
40-15.
Yeah, I think you should never compare anyone to Roger, should you? And we're not, and we won't. But the potential in this young lad is of that free-flowing type of player with a lot of options. He's an all-court player.
Game, Murray.
And logic says we'll see a lot of him.
And Murray holds for 4-2.
Dimitrov leads 4-2.
That first forehand there from Murray was when he ran in to hit a drop shot from Dimitrov, and you could see the power and explosive movement. So we'll see some hustle here from Murray. He's down 4-2. If he doesn't break, he's got two opportunities, obviously, to break here before the set's gone. So you'll probably see a little bit more intent here.
Love.
Really just starting to gain the experience, Dimitrov. He starts the Australian Open. Really, it's the third year of his Grand Slam campaigns. He's had 2 full seasons at main draw level. Never gone past the second round of a major.
40 love.
Last year he was in second round of the Aussie, French and Wimbledon. Lost first round at the US. When you look at that, quite a lot of points on offer for him, Fitzy, to move up the rankings.
Yeah, you wouldn't want to be a highly seeded player waiting for him in the draw.
It's great depth and a love game for Dimitrov. He's in control here in the first. It's 5-2.
Dimitrov leads 5-2. Time. Yeah, for sure.
Andy Murray serving, trailing 2-5. Serving with new balls too.
15 love. Love.
It's been a really high level that Dimitrov started this match with. You wonder whether he'll come off it just a touch. Well, Murray struggling to pass off that slice backhand.
Yeah. Well, you don't see this shot too often these days, and it's hit with good forward speed. It stays low, and Murray tries something different and doesn't succeed. Really composed at the moment, Dimitrov.
Spent a lot of time. That's Mikael Tillström of Sweden. One of the 3 coaches that he's got working with him. He spent a lot of time, a couple of years almost, working with Peter McNamara, basing out of Germany. And you can actually see how the all-court games adapted around what Peter Max taught him. The volleys are very sound. The slice backhand is a typically Australian shot. Then missed the forehand.
Dimitrov leads 5-3.
So here's the first test for the final for Dimitrov to see if he can actually serve this set out, Fitzy.
Yeah, he should have put that smash away in that point, really. But you're right. As well as he's played here now, he still needs a very solid game here because Murray will throw the kitchen sink at him here. Needs to play a solid game to hold this first set.
Oh.
And there's a mistake, little anxiety.
Love 15.
He was out of position there. It looked like his footwork got stuck on the surface.
Well, that'll be a little tension in the situation, I think, Fitzy. Obviously, you start to think, okay, got a chance.
Yeah, he lost his balance. You could tell, couldn't you? Yeah, great forehand. And I don't say that lightly. That was control, penetration.
15 all.
And just back to his coaching, we saw another quick shot of Mikael Tillström. I said he's got 3 coaches. He's working from the Good to Great Tennis Academy out of Stockholm. He's basing himself there this season. And between Tillström, Nicholas Kulti, and a former world #1. Oh, no.
Mr. Dimitrov challenging the call. Right side baseline.
Cut it too fine. Former world #1 in Magnus Norman are going to be sharing the coaching duties, travelling on tour with him. So an unusual type of situation, and it is a miss.
15-30. Mr. Dimitrov, 2 challenges.
Yeah, interesting combination. They didn't play with this style, any of those 3, did they?
No. But all successful, all good workers.
Mm-hmm. Well, this has been his worst game. And I think particularly the 15-all point there where he missed the short forehand. That's a ball that he'd make at least 9 out of 10 times, and that's hurt him here. So a bit of anxiety in the first point, a little bit there, and he finds himself 2 break points down.
Nice aggressive point to save it.
30-40.
I think Murray's looking at the serve, thinking I should have challenged.
Well, I like the way, yeah, he should have. It was out.
Well, too late once you continue playing the point. One break point left.
He gets the break back and we're on serve. 5-4, first set.
Dimitrov leads 5-4. Time. Love.
Some unforced errors just starting to come from the forehand and the body language showing signs of tension just in the face, realising that he's had a chance to win a set against the likes of Andy Murray. He's only had one really big win to his name. That was against Thomas Burditch when he was world number 7.
Yeah, that's clever. Gee, that reminded me of the guy I'm sitting in the commentary box with. Little off backhand chip, deliberately hit off. It stays low and fades away here.
And the thing is that, see how he gets his racket head right through the shot and makes it stay so much lower to the court?
Was that Peter Mack?
Well, he would have.
His influence, I'm sure.
Yeah.
So now Murray's starting to dominate the points. So Dimitrov's played well in this game to bounce back from that big disappointment.
50.
You don't often get a chance to serve sets out against the great players. He missed a golden opportunity. So mentally he's had to rebound, and he's playing well here, but Murray's gone up a gear.
40-15.
It's usually Murray we see playing a drop shot.
Interesting play. Drop shot and run in.
Test the feel. Yeah.
So it's a good effort here from Dimitrov. He's reverted the pressure back on Andy Murray.
Deuce.
Back to Juice. Giving himself a window here of opportunity to actually take the first set after all.
Advantage Murray. Net for serve. Deuce.
So double fault number 2 for Andy.
Second serve hasn't been that good this week. First serve's been better. Such a difference, though,
Murray.
still in the quality of the first and second with Murray. The weakest of the top 4. He's struggling with that real quick slice into the short forehand, Murray.
Mr. Murray's challenging the call, left side near sideline.
Well, isn't that interesting? I mean, this is a grey area because Andy actually had his cake and wants to eat it too here. He challenges after he's hit the ball into the net.
Deuce. Mr. Murray, 2 challenges.
So that's a judgment called by the central umpire, and I'm not sure I agree with that. You need to call immediately the ball bounces, surely.
Advantage Murray.
This is running up to that forehand. Just not getting up the back of the ball enough to give it height. Racket work not good enough coming forward.
Yeah, but he challenged after the ball was well and truly in the net. Mm-hmm. How's that right?
It wasn't. He gets through a tough game and levels at 5-all. When talking to the press yesterday,
5 games all.
Dimitrov talking about the mental benefit
15 love.
of putting in all the hard work, and this game is so mental. So to know that you can walk out on the court and last for as much time as necessary stops you getting negative, stops poor thoughts, makes you focus on good tactics, good execution. There it is again. Same ball. This time was a forehand though, but still, he doesn't know what shot to play off it today.
30 love.
Well, this is high quality stuff. No matter what way you look at it, Andy there had the upper hand, but pushes the last ball long. So Dimitrov certainly pushing him. He sounded very level-headed too, didn't he, in the press conference? You wouldn't mind buying shares in a young player like this. I mean, he's got the talent, he's got the application, level-headedness,
40
and he's got the work ethic.
Well, he's got a good team around him. We talked about the coaching group there. The Swedes have always been hard workers, always level, always liked, and that's very important.
Nothing like having good mentors surrounding you, Todd.
Indeed. Beautiful backhand and a love game for Dimitrov. 6-5.
Dimitrov leads 6 games to 5.
Sorry? No, I'm just asking. I want to know how we're doing. Thanks.
The closest you came was a double fault. Time.
Vital stages of this
15 love.
first set now, and that first point's so crucial, and 9.5 out of 10 players would have lost that first point off the quality of return, and Murray somehow defensively got a ball back into play. That was huge.
This kid's going to be good to watch.
15
Beautiful.
all.
Just adapts here at the end because he wanted to put a little bit onto it. Doesn't just chip that ball. He actually topspins this from low.
What about the slide into it too? Don't try that slide at home.
30-15.
You've got to be fairly gifted mover to be able to pull that off on a hard court.
So he's pushing Murray again. And in a lot of ways, it would be a much bigger effort for him to win this set after serving for it, losing his serve, and then hanging in there and still winning it. So this is a big part of the match even now for him. Well, there's the weakness.
30-40.
And you know what? That came a little bit about because Dimitrov had attacked the second serve earlier in the game.
That serve, Fitzy, was at 118 kilometres an hour. That is snail pace.
Yeah, that was like us.
Set point, Dimitrov. And he pulls that out. 209.
Well, the first serve is as good as anyone, really. But it's just the technique on the second serve where he opens up and becomes chest on very early, I think in the motion. And it just makes the second serve so light sometimes, especially when he loses confidence. Oh, well, this is a bit of a waste here, though, for Dimitrov.
Advantage Murray.
Yeah, but a good change up that time. He brought that serve back to 161, so he's given us the full variety, but it cut. It was a slow ball sliding into the body of the backhand. Oh, there's the high backhand we talked about. This match is delivering what we'd hoped for, though. We're in a tie-break in the first.
6 games all, tie-break. Each player an additional challenge.
And I think that's worth talking about because, look, he tried to press on the backhand and he did it awfully well up until that last ball, and that was a high bouncing one up high.
With not a lot of pace, so he's trying to generate off it as well. That's the hardest shot for a single-handed to do.
Doesn't miss this time, the overhead, Murray. Gee, what a forehand he hit halfway through that rally to turn defence into offence. And from then on, he was in charge. Great start to the breaker for him.
Fourth ace.
2-0, Murray.
Well, the experience there of the #3 player in the world had the upper hand all of that point, kept the foot to the floor, kept accelerating into the backhand wing, and it pays dividends. Loose one.
Was the first loose one for a long, long time, really.
4-0, Murray.
Got to give it to Murray, and this is what you expect from great players.
If you take a look at the unforced errors, 15-4, but it's Dimitrov who, throughout the set's been the aggressor. He's been the one taking it to Murray, and he's had to do that. change up, hadn't served volleyed throughout the set.
5-0, Murray.
And how good was Murray there? He knew straight away he was coming in and controlled that backhand return just down into the shoelaces of the incoming Dimitrov. Great peripheral vision, Murray, court awareness. So it looks like Murray in total control in the tiebreak.
6-0, Murray.
Change end. And Fitzy, if you had one sentence to give to Grigor Dimitrov right now, what would be that advice?
Well, I can't see why you would try and change the way you're playing. So I'd say continue to try and get 1 point here in the breaker and just see what happens. He'll need a lot of luck. Something extraordinary would have to happen for him to win this set now. But early in the second, you know, and keep playing the way you were playing.
And in summary, that one sentence?
Yeah, keep playing the way you've been playing all set. Head down. Try to keep the unforced errors down.
Game,
and
first set, Murray.
Takes the tiebreak, 7 points to love. He
7
leads
games
1-6
to
to love in the final. We think so, but I don't know. That's not the wife I remember. Well, it's been a fantastic first set in this final of the Brisbane International. Andy Murray, slow start in his opening service game was broken, and Grigor Dimitrov took advantage of it all the way through to when we saw a slight hesitation when he served for the set at 5-3. Wasn't able to do it, but then absorbed the disappointment, took it to a tie-break, but Murray too strong. As we take a look at some of the statistics of that first set, and Fitzy, you summarised so well, keep doing what you've got to do. And in Dimitrov's sided column there, if we look at points won at net 10 to unforced errors 16, and they vary significantly from Murray, but that's what you're talking about there, the attacking game.
Yeah, I don't mind the unforced errors being higher on Dimitrov's side of the equation there. You'd expect that because of the way he plays. Andy's not going to make too many unforced errors. But he made just a fraction too many in the end, didn't he? He went for a bit too much, lost his way a little bit just at the end.
Well, I talked about as we take a look at some of the highlights, he actually just lost a little bit of belief. You could see it in his face when he went to serve for it. He made a couple of unforced forehand errors that he hadn't made throughout the match, and it allowed Murray to recognise that perhaps Dimitrov doesn't quite have the experience yet to finish him off.
Seats, please. Thank you. Second set.
And you can see the positive body language from Andy Murray to finish the set.
Yeah, that was a heck of an effort. You know, he was probably the underdog for most of that set, Murray. You know, the other stat there that I noticed was 5 aces to Murray, 1 to Dimitrov. Now, I'd expect Dimitrov to serve more than that, but it's a little bit of an indication of how well Murray reads the serve too. He's a great returner.
Love.
The danger here, I think, Todd, is that Dimitrov will try to go to a slightly higher level because he played well there, didn't win the set. Will he try to go for a bit more? And if he does, if that will increase the number of unforced errors.
Oops, that's wild. Missed the doubles alley, that one.
30 love.
Yeah, well, as good as that rally was, at the end, he played a wild shot, and he might feel here he has to go to another level.
I'm sure he will, because Murray makes you do that because defensively he's so strong.
Net from serve.
We talked about it. He needs to stay at the same level, I think. Don't push the envelope too far, or the unforced errors will go through the roof. So he's already made 3 here in this game now.
Game Murray.
Murray, 11 straight points since the start of that tiebreaker.
First game, second set.
Yeah, it worries me here. We're starting to see. You're starting to see Dimitrov really pressing here, and it's causing more unforced errors. This is the family of Mikael Tillström. They look pretty comfortable in Australia. Ice creams come out of their winter up in Sweden. I think Clara and Alva, I think, the names of Mikael's daughters. They'll be.
15 all.
I wonder if they're twins. They must be.
Certainly cuties. What I've liked and been impressed about with Murray today,
15.
Fitzy, is throughout this week his concentration levels have been up and down quite a bit. He's hit the ball very well, but mentally he's come in and out of matches. Today he's been forced to raise that part of his game. I think Ivan Lendl will be pretty happy
40-15.
with what he's seen moving into the Australian Open. He's got to be careful, Dimitrov, too, because he's just starting to get pushed back a little deep. Murray is the one up on the baseline now, and that was not the case in the opening 8 games of the match.
Mr. Murray challenging the call. Left side service line.
Yeah, I'm not convinced. Not convinced this one's in. It may be, but you know, Murray's just a battle-hard. He's not a veteran, but just a battle-hard champion now, isn't he? He's caught the line.
Game Dimitrov.
So good hold, and that'll be good for his mental state, I think,
Mr.
Dimitrov, to get on the game early in the second.
We've been dissecting
$15 love. $30 love. $30-15.
Interesting there. Andy wasn't sure whether to challenge. He looked at Grigor, and without asking, I think his look sort of suggested, well, how was it? And Grigor said, look, I think it's out. Not so common these days for that to happen with the technology now. But he's definitely a little looser with some of his shots now, Dimitrov. Not quite as compact and as solid. He's just mentally dropped off.
Well, he's shown us the level that he can play, and he played it for a long time, and it's not unusual for somebody who's not used to playing a Murray.
Well, it's
just getting a little wild. As we go to break, Murray leads by a set 2-1.
Please. Murray leads 2 games to 1. Time. $15 love.
It was a stellar junior career from Dimitrov. Captured Wimbledon and the US Open junior titles in 2008.
30 love.
That's his second ace there. You'd expect he'd have more of those. His first serve is constantly over 200. That one 217. So against a lesser returner, he'd have a higher tally of aces, you would expect.
And 3
30,
points
15.
because he'd get your racket on it, not have to play the ball. But Murray's so good at getting an extra shot back.
Wow.
$40-15.
So in a few years' time, Todd, when he can make fewer errors, get a few more aces against Andy Murray and these types of players, he's certainly got the upside. No doubt. That was an awesome forehand.
And game, Dimitrov.
Another good service game from Dimitrov. Levels it at 2-all.
2 games all. $15 love.
Just notice Murray trying to throw the ball with a little more trajectory, a bit more spin, getting it up higher, taking some pace off. There's that second serve again.
15 all.
It's such a deceleration too. Take a look at this. He's in good position, and then as he comes right into the extension to hit the ball, that racket head really slows down. It's got to be the opposite to that.
$30-15.
Isn't it interesting how many points Dimitrov's won when he's hit the ball short to Murray's forehand?
30 all.
Well, I thought this one was going to be a mistake, to be honest with you. But the thing with Murray is that he likes to play toy shots, if you like. He likes to mess it around occasionally, and he's got a lot of options, and he hasn't been able to pick which option he wants to play. I mean, that was a... That's too good, but that other forehand was a really high-risk shot. Taking an angle from where he did.
40-30.
Tell you what, though, it's high-class tennis, no matter what way you look at it. And really the final here that we hope for.
Game Murray.
But Murray, he stays strong. He leads by a set, and it's 3-2 on serve.
Murray leads 3-2. Time. $15 love.
Dimitrov only got himself into trouble in one service game throughout this match where he's been pushed, and that was the game that he served for the first set. It's the only game where he dropped the opening point, so Murray
30 love.
has been unable to build pressure.
Love.
So a little lack of or loss of concentration from Andy. Got down the first point here and has put in 2 ordinary ones by his standard. You don't see the great players do that too often.
Tad adventurous.
40-15.
Might have been a shot you take on in practice, that one.
Yeah, not a high percentage on this one.
Really?
It would have been spectacular, but no cigar.
The back spinning drop shot volley.
$40-30.
It may yet still prove costly.
Yeah, I always think the game points you have on your own serve, and if you've got break points, they're almost worth 2, aren't they? If you can put a game away.
Oh.
Well, he does it. He gets it on the scoreboard.
He says that Pete Sampras
all.
was his favourite player growing up, Dimitrov. And he says his favourite backhand or favourite shot is the backhand down the line, Fitzy. In a moment or so, we might get a chance to just have a look at that and dissect it.
15 love.
Walk us through this, Fitzy.
Well, great shoulder turn. It's a classic backhand, almost from the old days, isn't it? Federer, I think, is the modern one that reminds me of that the most. You know, the big shoulder turn. Lendl had a beauty a decade ago, or a decade and a half ago, but he had the big shoulder turn, the weight transference, a little bit like Dimitrov. There's a bit of negative body language here with Murray, even though he's up in this game. If Dimitrov can keep his head down here and play 3 or 4 good points in a row, he might be able to get back into this match.
There's a couple of loose forehands coming from Murray. Missing by a long way. That one way in the bottom of the net. Previous one flew over the baseline by metres.
There's another loose one.
It misses by a long way too.
And he's mentally gone awry a little bit here, Andy, the last sort of 5 minutes. So he needs to knuckle down here. Tell you what, he better be careful or he'll throw the set away, Andy Murray.
30-40. Deuce.
Tell you what, though, Murray, he tipped the tape on one of those forehands there. He's lucky to be in this game.
See the unforced error count. Murray starting to catch up. The first set, it was all... Dimitrov was a lot higher. Murray's contained that well.
Bad miss.
Advantage Dimitrov.
Well, there you go. You know, we talked a lot about Dimitrov dropping off because of his inexperience, and the great players generally don't, but even they at times do, and Murray's going through an ordinary spot here.
Good play from Murray, forcing the issue. I bet you if he had that second serve again, he would have gone after it, Dimitrov. He moved around Fitzy to use the forehand and then did nothing with it. And that serve was at 116 kilometres an hour. That is, that's just really slow. Got to do a lot more. That was a real chance.
advantage, Dimitrov.
All right, 3 times. Can it be 3 times lucky? Break point again. Dimitrov breaks, leads 4-3.
Dimitrov leads 4 games to 3.
All you think about is legs.
Time.
This is the reaction when he broke.
Seats, please. Thank you. Play continues. Thank you.
All you think about is legs.
There's indication from Murray.
Well, Andy Murray's opened the door here. Totally opened the door out of nowhere for his opponent to come back into this match.
So was he indicating there that the legs, Fitzy, are either tired or that he just wasn't working hard enough at that time?
Well, either he's a bit flat, I would think, and he's feeling like they're a bit dead, his legs, or I was thinking maybe legs on the serve, because his second serve has been
Mr.
poor.
Murray challenging the call.
But now,
Right side
Dimitrov has the
Ball is
momentum.
called in.
And Andy just lost concentration. He took the foot off the accelerator. This could be a set all in a heartbeat.
30 love. Mr. Murray, 1 challenge. $30-15.
That backhand return was a little bit of an indication to me that he threw a bit of caution to the wind there. So, you know, his concentration has dropped. He's not playing his normal or going through his normal routines right at this moment. You don't see him step forward and swing hard at a backhand on a return too often.
$30-all.
It's the point we've seen him structure quite a bit. Murray often is short with the forehand cross court. That's where Dimitrov jumps on that and has come forward. We haven't seen Murray make a lot of passing shots, though, today. It's one of the few. Oh.
Well, he's lifted again.
Wow, what a return. I thought it was going to be clean winner.
30-40.
He must be thinking about his legs here. All of a sudden, he's back in town with these last few points.
Oh, Murray. good. Immediately breaks back.
Four games all.
Well, you got to hand it to him.
Well, he won it, didn't he? Yeah. Certainly, Dimitrov did nothing wrong to lose his serve. 3 consecutive points of winners off the racket of Murray.
(15-love).
This is where Dimitrov at least got to stop the run of points here. There was a big run of points at the end of that first set.
(30-love).
The scoring system in tennis and the nature of this sport is full of mountains and valleys, isn't it? Troughs. He was in a trough a few minutes ago. Now he's on fire, Murray.
Yeah, well, he's on top of your mountain. Fitzy, he's a set and 5-4, Andy Murray.
Murray leads 5 games to 4. Time.
Grigor Dimitrov serving to stay in the match. He needed that point.
15-love.
Been 8 consecutive points for Murray.
$15 all.
Just the first double fold of the match.
Mr. Dimitrov challenging the call. Left side service line. Ball is called out.
Wow. Miles long. Well, that's indication, isn't it, that mentally
Mr. Dimitrov, 2 challenges.
He's under stress.
Well, you'd expect this trough of concentration to come from the younger man, and it has right now. He had the upper hand. Oh, too good. So hang in there.
Favourite shot, the backhand down the line, saving him.
Gee, the 2 doubles put him in trouble though, didn't it?
30 all.
So a change of pace from Andy Murray.
30-40.
From a breakdown in the second set, Andy Murray has quickly turned it around to championship point.
Game, set, match. Murray. 2 sets to love. 7-6, 6-4.
Andy Murray is the champion. Successfully defending his title here at the Brisbane International in an impressive final. Fitzy, he'll be well pleased with that because he was put under all sorts of pressures, and we really did get to see what Grigor Dimitrov is capable of as he continues his climb up the ATP rankings.
Yeah. No, Andy's better off for that match than if he'd won easily here. That really tested him. He'll be a better player for it going into the Open. He'll be pleased.
So Murray, the champion, 7-6, 6-4.
I'm not going to ask you a question. I'm just going to say, Andy, would you like to take a few people? Well played.
Andy Murray, the champion at the Brisbane International, successfully defending his title for his 25th ATP title of his career. And it was a successful start for him last year and took him on to the Olympic and US Open titles. As we pass you now down to Master of Ceremonies, Stephen Phillips.
Your Excellency, distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the presentation ceremony for the men's singles at the Brisbane International of 2013, so proudly presented by Suncorp in association with Tourism and Events Queensland. Joining us on Pat Rafter Arena with the players are Tournament Director Cameron Pearson and ATP Supervisor Lars Graf. We're joined by the Honourable Jan Stuckey, the MP Minister for Tourism and Major Events, from the Brisbane City Council Julian Simmons, the President of Tennis Queensland Ken Laffey, From Tennis Australia Chief Executive Steve Wood, the Vice President of Tennis Australia Chris Freeman, and former Wimbledon and US Open champion, 2 times Australian Open champ, Ashley Cooper, a great Queenslander. Would you now please welcome the Honourable Jan Stuckey to say a few words.
Good afternoon, everyone. Your Excellency, the Governor of Queensland, to our distinguished guests, the organisers of this great event, our players, and of course, you, the fans. At the very outset, I'd like to say this is a very fitting end to what has been an exciting week, full of surprises, and one that puts Brisbane on the international map. Without your support and behaviour here, we would not be able to be so proud of this festival. This week, our government has been proud to once again sponsor the Brisbane International. And all credit goes to everyone involved, and especially that cracker of a game that we have just seen here from these 2 amazing tennis players, Grigor and Andy. Let's make 2014 even better than this year. We hope to see all of you back here, and especially these fine gentlemen and the players that have graced this court this year.
Thank you, Minister. I would now like to invite Brisbane City Councillor Julian Simmons to present the trophy to our runner-up, Grigor Dimitrov of Bulgaria. Grigor, you have won a lot of fans and a lot of hearts over the last week. I'm sure you'd like to say a few words.
Yeah. Well, hi everyone. First of all, congrats to Andy. Great play today. It was definitely an honor to get on court today. Also to your team. It was a great experience for me this week, I have to say. Probably played one of my best tennis, definitely to my box right here, to the coach and his family that's been supportive. Also thanks to all the sponsors, and the organization was just great. Every time I come to Australia, it's always a great support, and of course the audience, you guys, and well, hopefully I'm going to come back next year and do better. Thank you.
It is now my pleasure to invite the Honourable Jan Stuckey to present the Roy Emerson Trophy to our winner from Scotland, Andy Murray. Our first back-to-back winner, Andy Murray.
Hi. Firstly, obviously congratulate Grigor. It's his first final, and I think everyone will agree he played some extremely exciting tennis. It's been just a very tough match. He's just changed coaches, started with a new team, so congratulations to them. I'm sure they're going to do great things together. I'd also like to thank my team over there. They've been with me for about 6-7 years now, and couldn't do this without you, so thank you very much. Also to everyone that puts on the event, second time I've been here, I really, really enjoy it. They put on a fantastic tournament for the players. The facilities are great, so well done on another great event. Also, all of the sponsors, Suncorp, Queensland Government, and ERM. You know, without them, again, the tournament couldn't be put on. Also, the ball kids and all of the volunteers that work so hard to make these events happen. Much appreciated. Obviously, to everyone that came out to watch this week, the atmosphere, you know, from the very first match, I played against a local from Brisbane, and you know, everyone came out. It's been packed every single match, and it makes for great preparation and really good fun to play. So thank you very much. And I'd like to dedicate this victory to one of my best friends. So thank you very much. He's back home watching, and you're going to get through. Thank you.
Ladies and gentlemen, just one more for our winner Andy Murray and Dimitrov Grigor, our runner-up in 2013. How about down the front here?
Andy.
Fellas, look at that, guys. Over there, fellas.
Andy. One here, Andy.